Why is it that certain biracial people are considered black while others are not?
Hey beautiful people, how you're doing today? Together Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a video of a biracial woman asking that why are some biracial people accepted into the black community, why some biracial people are not accepted. And she gave a whole lot of different examples of how people like Mariah Carey, Bob Marley, Barack Obama has seen black people, but why some biracial people can even identify as black, because why can't they just identify as biracial? Anyway, guys, I need you guys to hear what this biracial woman has to say, and then we'll come back and talk.
Why is it that certain biracial people are considered black while others are not? To give you a really good example, Mariah Carey. If I think back to Mariah Carey, someone I grew up listening to and loving, like I loved Mariah Carey, listened to all of her music. My whole family did. And she's a legend. So the black community back then used to embrace Mariah Carey. She was on BET. People would celebrate her. And I think like when you see people like her with notoriety and are successful, all of a sudden we want to accept her as black and have her a part of that community because it's a win for us. But ultimately she's black and she's white. So why are we accepting some biracial people and allowing them to express and own their blackness, but other people who are biracial are not allowed to do that? I see it amongst the biracial community as a whole, like not just my own page, but I see an overwhelming theme. It's not just skin tone, because you look at Mariah Carey, you look at Barack Obama, Halle Berry, and even Bob Marley, people who have different skin tones, and they're all treated differently according to their fame, their success, their notoriety, who they are. I mean, Barack Obama wasn't our first mixed president. He was our first black president. And this is where sometimes I think our society is a little bit twisted, because no wonder why biracial people have questions about their identity, because everyone's out here stating their opinions and accepting some people and not accepting others. Like, don't you see where the confusion lies? And this is the biracial dilemma. And it's not the biggest problem in the world, but it's something that people who are not biracial and are constantly being told what they are find really annoying and really frustrating. And so a lot of people ask, well, why don't you just celebrate being both? Or why don't you just love being mixed? And I think there's a lot of pressure from society to choose one or the other. So it's not that I don't want to identify with both. I think it makes it difficult when people kind of place or put me in this category of what I'm supposed to be. Okay, America. Okay, world. Who am I today?
So let me know what you think about what this biracial woman just said. Go ahead and share your thoughts and what you think about everything she said. This got a lot of biracial people talking, and I find this conversation very interesting because there was a whole like different sides to this whole thing. So anyway, guys, let's hear what other biracial people had to say, and even some black people have to say about this topic, and then we'll talk.
Why is it that certain biracial people are considered black while others are not?
As exhausted I am with this goddamn conversation, I'm going to give you a very simple answer as a black woman. Sometimes biracial people look black and we can't tell whether or not they're biracial. Sometimes y'all asses don't look black. It ain't got nothing to do with us. It don't have nothing to do with y'all. It's nobody's fault. But sometimes genes mix up. You know, you can never really predict how a biracial person is going to look. At the end of the day, the way you look, the way you're perceived, changes the way you interact with people. If you don't look black, nobody ever thinks you're black. Guess what? You don't have a full black experience. So it's hard for us to really accept the fact that you are black because of the way we experience life, and we have an authentic, real black experience. And let's keep it a buck. Some of y'all don't claim blackness until it's convenient. That's a fact. And y'all always want to have this conversation with black people, but never white people.
Why is it that certain biracial people are considered black while others are not? To give you a really good example,
Don't go watch that video. This conversation's so damn tired. People, it doesn't matter if what you consider biracial people to be, okay? It's a cultural thing, it's a skin tone thing, it's a phenotype thing. We all know that. Phenotypically, I'm biracial. I got some European features in me, but my mom is black and I was raised by the black side of my family, and I had no influence from the white side of my family. So it's cultural. I am biracial, but I consider myself a black biracial person. So on and so forth. Examples. You know what I mean? When I walk into an all black space, black people say, oh, there go that light skinned boy, or he mixed, whatever. And I'm like totally fine with that because I don't have to prove my blackness. Just shut the fuck up.
Why is it that certain biracial people are considered black while others are not? To give you a really good example,
because like we said, and we've been saying for a long time, and this is coming from me also as a biracial person, if you don't look black, you're not black. You can be biracial. You can be as biracial as you want. But if people don't see you and be like, yeah, she's definitely black or she's definitely mixed with black, then you don't experience racism. And that's a part of being black. So yeah, it's pretty simple. Learn what phenotypes are and this will be a breeze. And don't try to hit me with the, well, you don't look black. Yes, I do. Everywhere I go, I am looked at as a mixed person, a mixed with black person. So don't even try to do that in my comments. You can, but it's just not true and you look silly, okay? When I walk in a room, no one's like, that's a white girl. They're like, that's a mixed girl, okay? Be for real.
biracial people are considered black while others are not. To give you a really good example, Mariah Carey.
All right, so that actually is not a very good example to prove the point. The point that that post was trying to make is that certain biracial people are accepted as black once they've reached a certain level of success. And the poster was made mention of Mariah Carey, which I have her memoir right here. I've read it a couple times. Great read. I disagree with that because Mariah Carey specifically has always, for over 30 years at this point, since she came on the scene as a 20 or 21-year-old songstress, has always stood 10 toes down on the fact that she is not white. Has always stood 10 toes down on the fact that she is a biracial black woman, biracial black person, a person who has a black father and a white mother. And her lived experiences, the experiences that she details in this book and the experiences that she details growing up in interviews and stuff like that, those are not the experiences of a white person, okay? A white person isn't like, doesn't invite a friend over from school and have that friend run away crying in horror because she saw that her father was black. Like, that doesn't happen to white people. That happens to a biracial black person. So Mariah Carey is accepted as part of the black community because she has a black father, has never hidden or faltered from being vocal about her love for, you know, her black lineage, ancestry, parentage, or whatever. And it is the community that she is choosing to be a part of. She's making the intentional choice to be a part of that community. And the thing that I think we miss when we talk about people, biracial people who look like Mariah Carey or who look like Meghan Markle, is when we talk about passing, which is not an identity, it is a verb, it is an action that you do, it's something that you choose to do, it is an intentional decision that you make to forego being a part of the black community and completely ignore your black lineage and parentage, is that there were plenty of biracial people who had light skin, blonde hair, light eyes, who could have, if they wanted to, passed and lived their life as white people, but decided not to, decided to be a part of the black community and remain a part of the black community. So
that certain biracial people are considered black while others are not.
I think there's a super simple and concise answer to that type of question. When being black became a commodity. As a biracial, multiracial, mixed human, in the last 8 to 10 years, being black has become something that everyone aspires to, except actually being black. They want the lips, they want the body shapes, they want the skin tones, and have literally completely altered themselves to look that way. And if you phenotypically do not look black, the world does not treat you as such. Black people in this country didn't create being black, but they have to live by the rules that were created for being black. So if you don't look black, you don't get treated as you're black. And just a question, if you don't present as black, why are you dying for people to know you're black? What do you get off of people knowing that you're black? What are you missing if they don't know you're black?
Why is it that certain biracial people are considered black while others are not?
I think the very obvious answer to this is that if you are mixed race, if you are half black, half white, and you look more white, it is very obvious that you cannot relate to the plight of the Black American experience. And so when people are talking about Black people, they're not talking about you, because you have no idea what that feels like to be considered a Black person in society standards. Like, yes, you may technically be Black because you have a Black parent, but if you've never lived your life as a Black American, if people do not look at you and immediately think Black person, then it's not going to be the same thing. You're not going to be related to the same way. People are not going to trust you. Black people are not going to trust you the way that they would trust other Black people who look like them. And that's really just the crux of it. Like, I'm sorry, but a great example of this would be Halsey. If Halsey called me a nigger, I'd have to whoop her fucking ass. I would have to whoop her ass, and I think she would understand that too, because she knows that she does not walk through life and experience life as a Black woman. It just doesn't happen. And the same thing can be said for the person whose video I'm stitching. Like, no hate, no shade. You are very pretty. And I think you're telling everyone that you're Black. I don't know. I didn't finish watching your video. I just saw your question. I was like, this is a great question to answer. But you very likely do not experience the ins and outs of what it means to be a Black American every day, because you have Eurocentric features that distinguish you from other Black people. Whereas other Black people have very obvious Black features, like a wider nose or darker skin, or more coarse hair. And those are things that you cannot claim. You cannot relate to those things. And so people who look like you, or people who may look even more white passing, are not going to be considered as Black as other people, because they just don't live their lives as Black people the way that other Black people do. So I think that's the pretty obvious answer, girl.
Why is it that certain biracial people are considered Black while others are not? To give you a really good example,
I made a video on this 2 years ago, but I got no problem giving a short summary. The reasons like that because of, obvious reasons. Some are like us, and some are like both. Blake Griffin is like both. But also got to do with your style, your personality, okay? That has a lot to do with it too, as well as what I just mentioned. For example, Alicia Keys is mixed, but people mostly associated her with Black culture because she makes mostly music that is popular Black genres. And she has a, style that's, Black. With the braids, how she dresses, and how she talks. And some have a style that's both. Like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he has a style that's, Polynesian, and also his style is Black. So those are the two reasons why. Your features and your style. Those are the two things we base it on.
why is it that certain biracial people are considered Black while others are not?
Okay, so interesting fact, a genetic study was done and the average Black American has up to 24% European ancestry due to slavery and the generational rape of Black women. And I think this is evident in people like me. I am what you would consider fully Black. I come from two Black parents, and this is what I look like. I don't think I look fully biracial, but we know there are a lot of biracial people that could look like me. So hypothetically, if I were to have kids with a white man and did a 23andMe test on our kids, there's a strong likelihood that they would have more European ancestry show up than African ancestry, just based on the fact that I'm Black American. But look, we all know genetics can do a number, and if y'all know Thandie Newton's daughter, that 25% is showing out, and race is a social construct, so she damn well is considered Black. I'm gonna do a part 2 on this.
Ultimately, she's Black and she's white, so why are we accepting some biracial people and allowing them to express?
She's not Black and white. You see, we all understand and agree that race is a social construct. Whiteness was constructed as an exclusionary state. In America, at least, white people chose to sublimate their various ethnicities for the sake of one homogeneous white identity, mostly defined by who isn't white. And it's been diametrically opposed to Blackness. Therefore, the way whiteness is constructed in the United States, someone cannot be Black and white. Now, that is not to say that a Black-white biracial has to completely abandon one side of their family's cultural identity, because you actually can inherit the white parent's ethnicity, their nationality. You can be Black and Italian. You can be Black and Irish, but whiteness is an exclusionary state. And I know this may be difficult for you because one of your parents is white and you want to identify with those parents, but you cannot be white when you are Black presenting or simply non-white presenting. That is not the way whiteness is constructed.
Go ahead and share your thoughts about this topic down in the comment section, because that's what we do here. We have conversation. So feel free, share your opinion down in the comment section. But please, please, please be respectful. You don't have to disrespect anybody or call anybody name for you to put your point across. Okay? We have conversation here. So go ahead, drop your thought down in the comment section. Here's my thought. I know I can never be a biracial person because obviously I'm a black woman, but I've always asked this question because there are some biracial people that are so white passing, why there are some biracial people that are so black passing. And I get it that, like the last person that said that this construct of black whiteness was being created by white people, and I understand the one drop rule, but for me, it still does not make sense. Why can't biracial people be biracial people? Why must they identify as black or white? Why can't they just be biracial? They are biracial. For me, I still, if somebody can explain it more, I know I've heard everybody's explanation on this stage, but I don't understand why society will not just leave biracial people, identify with whatever you want. But for me, when I look at somebody, that's where I look at, like, oh, is this person black? Is this person Italian? Is this person white? Is your phenotype it gives like passing? So yeah, I don't really know about this. I just feel like it's a dicey, not really dicey, like it's not a constant situation where you can just say, okay, this is it, this is it. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section, because that's what we do here. We have conversation. Please share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because hey, that's what we do here. All right, so share this video. Give this video a big thumbs up. That helps YouTube to push out my content, and that will be you supporting your girl. So subscribe if you haven't, like I said before, and I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.